Because basically, the Times got their hands on the ethics complaint that was filed against Griffith before he passed away. And that coming from Matthew Johnson, who's another big name in psychedelic research who we've actually had on the show before, and who has also been a longtime colleague of Griffith's at Johns Hopkins University, with it alleging that Dr. Griffiths ran his psychedelic studies more like a New Age retreat center than a clinical research laboratory, acting like a spiritual leader and infusing the research with religious symbolism in order to steer volunteers towards the outcome that he wanted. And with all this, Joanna Kempner, a medical sociologist who reviewed the complaint for the Times, saying, "These are serious allegations that need to be investigated." Now with this, to be clear, this is not about maligning Griffith's memory or his work. In fact, some of the issues that we're going to touch on today were acknowledged by Griffiths himself. And it's also not to dispute a huge body of research showing that psychedelics have real potential for treating psychiatric disorders like anxiety, depression, PTSD, and addiction. In fact, as I've made clear on the show, I am an advocate of its medical use. But it is more to highlight that there are smart and qualified people who say that the hype surrounding psychedelics has moved faster than the science. For example, even as the use of psychedelics has skyrocketed in both young and middle-aged adults in the US, with research even showing that psilocybin is like the most popular one, we actually only have one head-to-head study comparing psilocybin with a traditional antidepressant, with neither one really coming out on top, and with the authors of that study noting that more research is needed. And Eiko Fried, a psychologist at Leiden University in the Netherlands, published a paper saying that psychedelic science is facing serious challenges that threaten the validity of core findings and raise doubt regarding clinical efficacy and safety. And with that, telling the Times, the inferences drawn in the literature at large certainly don't follow from the evidence. And similarly, Nora Volkow, the director of the National Institute of Drug Abuse, saying, "Psychedelic drugs have been promoted as a potential cure for many health conditions without adequate